Everyone, let me ask you one question. Before you die, would you want your smartphone wiped clean? Most of you would probably say, of course. Your search history, your location data, what you said to whom, what you were watching at 3 in the morning. But I've been thinking about it the other way around. What if I donated all of it? That's what I want to talk about today. Part 1. Metadata. Literacy. What we missed. Not long ago, I proposed a concept called metadata literacy. The people who make content should actively label their metadata, raising the traceability and credibility of their own state. The people who consume content shouldn't just read the surface of the data. They should develop the habit of verifying the metadata that supports it. The proposal was on both the supply side and the demand side. Treat metadata as an ethical tool. But after making that proposal, I realized something I'd missed. The premise of the whole proposal is, in fact, a deeply frightening world. A world where we live on a network that is always available, always traceable. Part 2. We are already inside the digital panopticon. You know Benson's panopticon, right? The circular prison. The prisoner can be watched at any moment, but can never know whether the watcher is actually watching right now. So the prisoner ends up behaving as if they are always being seen. That's exactly the world we live in now, especially South Korea. Among the highest urbanization rates in the world, among the highest digitization rates in the world, immigration records, card transactions, location data, CCTV, a country where, if anyone really wanted to, they could reconstruct a particular individual's movements minute by minute. We are already living inside a digital panopticon. So can we escape from it? Part 3. A paradoxical way to dismantle the panopticon. If a person inside the surveillance net cannot break out, then we have to change strategy. Before being surveilled, I disclose first. Think about it. Why does big tech want your data? Because you're hiding it. Why do investigators want a search and seizure warrant? Because you haven't disclosed. Why do hackers go after your information? Because you've locked it down. Now, this is somewhat rhetorical, of course. I'm not saying disclose every single piece of information, but the core insight stands. Rather than be surveilled, expose yourself first. Voluntary disclosure is not the same as passive surveillance. There is agency in it. I get to set the context. I get to hold the frame. Part 4. The digital funeral versus the reverse digital. Lately, the phrase digital funeral has been going around. Before I die, I want to wipe my entire digital footprint. My search history, my DMs, my mistakes. I don't want to watch my reputation get desecrated after I'm gone. I get it. Completely understandable. But I want to make the opposite choice. A reverse digital funeral. Not erasing, donating. Part 5. Digital organ donation. I can sign the form. You know about organ donation, right? Some people refuse it because of religious convictions or beliefs about the afterlife. Others, precisely because of their convictions, are willing to donate. I want to treat my digital data within the same frame. The Google timeline I've built up over decades, the search records and consumption patterns I've left behind, the writing and conversations I've produced, even the data that was collected from me without my permission. If it will be used for research, if it will be used for academic purposes, if it will contribute to the advancement of humanity, I'll waive every legal claim. Take it. Use it. I would gladly sign the form. Because this isn't just a data donation. Part 6. I want to be Digital Lucy. Do you know Lucy? The roughly 3.2 million year old Australopithecus fossil discovered in Ethiopia in 1974. From the bone fragments of one Lucy, humanity reconstructed the lifestyle, migration patterns, and physical structure of our ancestors from millions. Lucy didn't try to leave anything behind. She simply lived and died. And yet, because of Lucy, humanity came to understand itself. I want to be a digital Lucy. Decades of my Google timeline, my consumption patterns, my movement, the shifts in my interests over time, the evolution of my writing style, the traces of my modes of thought. If someone taking all of this were to reconstruct an entire life mine, then I become a kind of standard, a model, a living cultural record showing how one ordinary Korean lived through the early 21st century. Part 7. The paradox facing futurists. The problem facing historians of the past was a shortage of documents. The problem facing futurists today is that there is too much data, and yet, paradoxically, intimate data is still scarce. Official records overflow, but qualitative data showing how a single person actually thought, actually felt, actually lived remains rare. The data I'm donating can fill exactly that gap. Closing the one who goes first wins. This is how I see it. In the world of the digital panopticon, the person who tries to evade surveillance is forever the one being chased. But the person who discloses first stops being the object of surveillance and becomes the subject of the record. There are people preparing for digital funerals, people trying to erase their traces. I'm going to go in the opposite direction. A reverse digital funeral. Digital organ. Digital. The one who does this first wins. What will you do?